So it's 9 o'clock. 9:05. So I got, there you go, 9:05. Boom. So they're off to the races. It's 9:05. I think they're going to pull back the euro dollar down into the stack I built. So this is stacks that consist of expirations from 3 hours to 4 hours to 8 hours. If you really want to get all nitpicky, you could come down here and pick a 1 hour script. So this is highly aggressive because what you're going to do here is you're going to say, let me delete all these arrows and restack it. So I'm going to put some fresh tickets in that are super aggressive. This is a 20 pip grid, these black lines. And these are just the entries we're seeing. We're not seeing the exits. We don't have a color for that. I don't care about the exit. I already figured that out. So I just care how many things I'm going to get into. Same thing on the sell side. Had you put a stack in here, you know what it would have looked like. Now, people always say, well, how do you know if it's going to keep going up? I guess you don't. Like, so here's the daily view. Now, this is a 100 pip grid with, this has got 20s. And the big black one is 100 pips. So it's a penny. Now here, in these instances here, we have the daily. So that's a month on that dotted vertical is a month. And this is a lot of thrusting moves here. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The white line represents the closing prices, so that'd be your typical line chart from olden days. And the bar chart's a little more sophisticated because it's like a market profile. It's a doji. It's a breakout trade. It's also a retracement if you're going to stack buy stops as it's dropping and just only get involved when it starts to come sucking back up or smashing back down. So if you just turn off the white line and look at just range only, those are typically breakout trade plans. So and it's happening on the line on the time structure, a snapshot. The line chart is a snapshot per day. So it's pretty easy to follow. You know, it's a scribbling up and down, and we just have to wrap our brain around it, I suppose. In some regard, you have to have a narrative. Dare I say, you got to have a narrative for this stuff. What's going on here? And you know, hey, let's see if we can't highlight the insanity here. So, okay, so let's take a snapshot. Now, if you had to say, do tops become bottoms, and if you have confirmation, so to speak, dare I say, but it's not really confirmation, it's multiple people getting in on the same idea, or when the market starts to go sideways, the next breakout would typically be the path of least resistance. And there's more of a, like, so when it's going into new lows, and it's happening very quickly, like back here, as soon as you took out this low, so you can start anywhere in the chart. We're just going to call this a fractal, a 3-bar instead of Williams 5-bar fractals, just too slow. In other words, you see a middle finger. So this is right. I mean, we can kind of see where is the tippity top, top tick Tommy's living, and if they're living above this, oh gosh, drift. It's like a monthly doji. It's like a hanging man right now. That is the daily chart. There are so many crazy dumb shit trades in here where you've got confirmation buy stop trap entry. So you're selling into this for 20 pips. You're looking to make 20. This one's a great one. You sold here and you made about, if you peeled them off every 20 pips, your last ticket's sitting at 60. And you know, when it starts to drift and it just does failure swings, so to speak, it could be trading from, you know, this is a trade that lasts like 5 days. Or you're saying, well, I'll just buy any dip. If it closes here, I'll just fucking buy it and put a stop here and buy it. And you actually survived it until everybody that's anybody on every algorithm starts to stack up on this delta and just says, okay, man, well, if we don't go up, we're going down and picking a 100 pip breakout for this, right? You're literally saying, I'm a turtle trader. For now, I'm going to go south, and I'm going to sell every rally. In fact, structurally speaking, you'd have to say here, and this is another one of these confirmation kind of, everybody's in on this one, I suppose. But by this time, people are like, well, this seems to be support, but it could become resistance, you know, and you don't even get an attempt of it here. Now, the reason why this happens is psychologically, if people are saying, well, I'm buying this trend line, it's going up. What are you, an idiot? It's going up, so I'm a channel trader. So as soon as these algos stack up, or that theory goes, well, fucking A, it looks like the guy that had the trend line drawn here says, well, shit, I guess it's kind of iffy, the trend, and then these people that bought here and they didn't get out, they go, well, holy shit. They get out too. They get out because they have a stop here. See? So they're losing this much. I'm not going to say everybody. There's a bunch of everybody's going on there. But the issue is that, well, this trend line is not holding, and there's guys that are selling the break of it. The guys that are heavily loaded with a stop here, well, all the guys that have stops here, that would be a stop hunt, I suppose, into this territory. But fucking A, that is a daily chart, which means in 2 days, you're down like 3 cents. Crazy, right? Then another delta, the only rally you can possibly sell, then here it fails. People are selling into that. Now, I would definitely hope that I bought the end of this hammer, so I'm long on something here, but I'm prepared to buy like a whore down there. And I'm drawing a trend line like this saying, yeah, how long do you think this is going to last? Right? And all of this shit, like, now this is where any trend bot's going to get his ass annihilated. I'm sorry, but, you know, these are all, I guess that's not true. I mean, with the right, if you're doing a 100 pips swing trades, and this is going in almost 200 pips, then surely you can find something in this box kite thing. Must be something available there to trade. And then once again, more drama as it takes out this monster loan, just keeps feeding on this thing. And this is the mind blower, is that when you see this, you go, well, fucking A. Personally, that's what I would say. If it takes that out, it's just going to go boom, boom. But it doesn't. It's the old story. Well, it's trapping these goobers down here. Stop punch over, fellas. Okay, well, I mean, if it is, and this is the Wyckoff, this is going to, this is a Wyckoff failure in a way. This is going to jump the creek, but it never does. Okay, it comes back to the ranch, and then we're talking about, yes, this is going to be brutal, but not until we clean this vacuum. All the guys that are still holding this, and I'm sure there's people buying this saying, well, this is going to be a W. I'm going to ride the W, come back to the floor. And, it's just high drama. This is really like, I love you, I fucking hate you. Like, this is not even, this is like, okay, I see what you're saying, but go to hell. So, I understand. Yeah, you thought that was a breakout. I got you, but and then this is the measured move that everybody, I guess you got to plan on all these things possibly happening. This is the classic measured move is a down hard, pause, down hard, up hard, pause, up hard, down hard, pause. So this is the giant doji, then smash, right? Same thing on the way back, ding, ding. So it's kind of silly. The issue is that this doesn't happen all the time. So you only see this price pulse. That's a complete measured move, so to speak, like just a beautiful pause, like an elbow, and then crush your head off. And that's the drive into the floor. So if you're a buyer here and you're buying stacks and you're loading the wagon in a 200 pip range, but you're going to martingale in, so you're going to buy heavy as fuck here and scalp it and go, fuck, let's donate some money to this idea. Okay, we'll hold some of this, I guess, if we want to see this one day. But I just don't think it pays to trade one style. I think you got to do multiple things, having multiple styles available. But that's just me. What do I know? Here's just a brutal. I can't even say it's a measured move, but I guess if you say this to here to there, and then maybe there's a doji, maybe there's a pause in here, and then another smash and grab. Here, this is a brutal, because all this pent up nothingness is not helping. I should zoom out a tad here to give it a little more breathing room. Do the old special toggle. I'll zoom out. So in the big picture, notice this beautiful channel, but how would you even trade this? I mean, I know this stuff looks really amazing. You'd say, well, fucking hey, just draw a trend line like this and just trade this channel all the way down. Piece of cake. Okay, I got you. But you're waiting months. You're waiting like 3 months to get in these trades. You realize that, right? Don't talk to me about that. So I got plenty of patience. Okay, so we're going to draw, well, let's do this background. That'd be interesting. So this gives a little more fun to it. Now, the beam, right? Instead of the channel, it's called the beam. Of course, this lets us project mentally how many pips it is back and forth. But once again, there's the channel within the channel. So if you do one of those pitchfork things, or you got split it down the middle here. Oh, fuck, that's a bad color. I don't like that. So, but if we go into, yeah, we gotta change that color. It just looks like hell. So make that yeller. So that you go. So now, if this is your the midline, I mean, if you drag this around, you can see that you could lose your mind. There's so many dumbass trades in here, and it really comes down to pip level. So this is on drawing this right on the closing price only here. Try to get an accurate feel for the contour. Okay, so it'd be right about there. So that's your typical trend line. I call that the real trend line because it is the trend. Trend's your friend. But not so much, right? There's plenty of trades going the other way on here if you know how to do it, right? So if you stack up the buy the plunge here and sell the rally, yeah, it is kind of brutal. So if you're going to buy new lows, if you bought here, you start buying here, you really load the wagon below here. Yes, at some point, I mean, these guys are taking some heat. You're about almost 150 pips down on those things, so $15. Then per 1K, then you got this situation. Wow. And this is the daily chart, so you can only imagine the kind of bulls that, the people that have loaded the wagon here, and then when it comes crushing to here, they're like, whoa, they're hitting my stops. It's crazy. So you're buying those stops and dumping them for a couple times, making 100 pips there. That would be your buy trade there. I get the fact that, and this would be the same thing, no different than these sell limits. So sell limits getting picked up. Now, you really wish you could, but here, if you're a seller, you just sell every rally. Here is that contention where every algo's stacking up because we have a doji. We fell through the floor, dead cat bounce. Sorry for your kitty. Kitty fell out of a tree. Boom. Kitty's down 200 pips. If you're stepping in front of this train, it's pretty brutal, right? You're gonna get stopped out of here. Here's your 200 pip. Like if you got a 200 pip stop, you just got stopped out. So this clusterfuck that's going on, bing bang bong. This is a real popcorn. 50 pips every day, up and down. 50 pips. You can't believe it. If you're on the 4-hour chart here, you just lose your mind. What else? So new lows. Now you're talking about the guy that can afford a $50 loss on a 1K. He's got to stop down here. He's long. Right? Can you handle $50 for a 1K? He's long as fuck. He dumps some. Now he's martingaled in like a horror because of this doji. We know we're going to get a spill out cluster, bam, and then the rip back is going to be brutal. Bing, 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 bing. Now we have this new vacuum. So this thing is just an absolute. Unfortunately, it's just annoying as hell. It's like real life. So this vacuum starts to fill up, right? This floor becomes a top, but once again, you got this rangy nonsense. That just goes on for like a month, man. Now, if you know how to trade that, you are in like Flynn. Now, I think this the smallest 100 pip drift on this whole chart, which is the cause for the bang bang bong, and then everybody's like going, what if you take this out? Yeah, no kidding. So complete crush a Rama, 200 pips smash, not 100 pips of nonsense. It is just epic. These are the same structure situations, right? You have these floors. I didn't even make it back to this one, for God's sakes. This one's almost just can't seem to get back to the ditch. So these are just tragic relationships. These are like, honey. Not only did I shrink the kids, I blew them up first, and then I shrunk them down. They got put the new air compressor I got at Harbor Freight. I just put it on their mattress, and kaboom. So what's the next move here? So I'm willing to buy down here. I think I'll buy if it comes down here. I'm on the daily. Sure, that's a good trade. So the daily chart, it's quite a story, isn't it? Look at this perfect bottom. Actually, a little overshot the runway on the bottom, become a top theory. And so we scoop out these facts. The skin comes gushing up in, and then kaboom. But like this is a pent up drift that takes a long time. And all the bulls are thinking is, man, we're just going to bust through this floor. Yeah, to start carving into this would be quite a feat. The guy that can afford to buy into this, that's a great counter trend trade. So the mind-blowing counter trend trades are, of course, here you're taking a lot of heat very quickly. The sellers are loving it, but at some point they got to call it quits. Otherwise, they're going to give back all the way to here. These guys that sell this breakout, and they're like, yeah, look at this thing, it's going to hell. Yeah, spam, right, right back to where it started again. You're selling into this, good luck, right? I mean, sure, on the 4-hour, get it done, smash hard into this. This is just devastatingly cheap, this euro. So it's so smashed to hell and back. Then today, just more, it doesn't matter. Just news, whatever. I mean, look at this shit. So these are the structures, right? So this is the anvil trade. And yeah, it just goes on and on. I mean, this is a good 500 pips. 500 pips of just nutsville. Like, these people are fucking nuts. So the reason it's difficult to trade is because it makes no fucking sense. I suppose it does if you have these views that if you pick a 50 pip range or even a 100 pip range, you can do a top become a bottom in a 100 pip range because it's not always going to even make it back to the floor. So think of it like give it 100 pips to the floor. 100 pips. Here's the floor. 100 pips down. Now this is dipping well into the 100 pip window. This is a 100 pip window you need for that. So that's the other thing. The precision of these structures, there is no precision. Like this would be your 100 pip window below here. So that's right into the treetops of that. This rectangle kind of overshoots, but that's why this is such a feeding zone. 100 pip wick, and the closing prices are down 100. So you're talking about 200 pips from this smash to here. And it's just so, it's so subtle. You know, really, it's like if it's a 100 pip window and then your life's a little bit, if you're just trying to make 100 pips here, you're kind of making it as it smashes off this exact, almost exact, but it's okay. I mean, the 25 pips, the 50 pip window, it's great. Here you got this situation, and if you're giving it 100 pips, you know, it gets well into that 100 pip window. Here are 200 pips here, so this is plenty of room to wick into that. Ideally, as it goes up, you're selling more and more and more in a 100 pip window. Maybe you have a stop here, like a hard stop connected to all these little tickets. That's the other way to think about it. And it may take next week to come down here. Now that was a complete buy zone as far as I'm concerned. Here, sure, I'm going to sell here, but like I said, I'm not a good seller. I like to just kind of buy, so very close to the market now. I would rather have buys down 150 pips here and have orders really close to the market that last a very short period of time. Here's another 100 pip window off close to pick up these sells. Here's a 100 pip window for buys to you could do a dead cat bounce there, or you're going to sell right into the closing price on the floor. That's the obvious trade, I think. Going to be right on the almost perfectly closing up. It's about a 50 pip window there. Right, so it should be easy to mark this off. This is not really that hard, is it? Now here, what's going on there? So we go to make new lows, crush down, crush back to the floor, and it doesn't go down again. So what's the next pressure building above us? First this vacuum, then it's just too much. You kind of have to come back to this 100 pip window, this floor. I have crazy stuff here. A lot of people dumping. You know, this could be Friday or something, and then Monday come back, drift, and then shoosh, smash up. And this is completely legitimate trades, I think. I mean, the idea that you have a moving average out here, I mean, seriously, you're going to wait for this fucking thing to hit that? Well, look at this, it's hitting moving average. Honey, come here, look at the 21 EMA I'm using. Yeah, right, buddy. So you sold here, and you're like, I'm getting slammed. Why are my balls getting slammed? This is what's happening, right? Like, look how long this treachery goes on. So this is what blows up. Systems that can't handle this whipsaw nonsense noise. So really, 80% of the market is noise. I'm going to call noise here. So we're typically going to be in a noisy situation. That's why there's a lot of great I guess you call them random trades out there. You can just take. That's the idea of building a robot. It's going to kind of like guess lottery numbers for you. Okay, so we got the view of what's possible. And I'd say it looks like every day this thing could move at least 20 pips, 25 pips, 50 pips. In the direction, it's kind of easier to trade the noise in a sense if you consider, okay, this is kind of noisy, like, right? And then there's a big decision here. Then more noise, giant decision, noise to blow your brains out, then another decision, then a rejection, so to speak. And we're looking for people to sell here. They don't sell. So it comes flying back through this we left behind. And this little tail vacuum here. So that pressure is building up. Now it just comes roaring back into the floor. Now this takes a whole month of crush down to new lows. And so I'm going to say this is the big move, then noise, move, then more noise, giant move, baby noise, but then there's a ton of noise up into that. So the noise to noise floor, then the noise here, floor of this giant structure, giant move, noise back to this noise area, then just this ultimate battle, which just creates more. I'm going to say this is noise all the way through here. This is not really a move that got anywhere, so I'm going to say this is pure noise, and so is this, and then giant move, and here's where it gets like crazy. I'd have to say this is the ultimate reversal, because now where's it going to go, right? We going down here? Okay, maybe, right? Maybe kind of tough. I'm willing to buy down here for a trade to here, or sell here, I suppose, right? Back for a trade to here. You can imagine a million scenarios. It's just setting the trap. If you're going to buy this VAC, and you see the, you could have already made a bunch of money during noise levels. So if there's more trades available here, if you miss this train to hell, it's kind of hard to chase that, because if you start selling here, well, I got confirmation. Hey, look at honey, look at, we just made 200. Yeah, and then they rip your face off, or they come back to here, and then they just noise you to death if you're got a giant stop, right? So this is very unique. Giant swing bottom under this floor. It's just insane what's going on. Now this is the giant noise move, then just tons of noise, and then it's oof, good lord, a move and then a cluster. So these are the dojis, or the indecision points, or the it's all inside here. So let's just make money every day in here, and we're expecting things like this to happen. This is not unlikely to happen. So the probability of noise is very high all the time, that there will be no resolution here. They'll hem and haw and just drive people insane. And every now and then, it's going to run like this. Now the dream is that you're the Hakanashi, or you're the Ikamushu. Ikamushu is so good. You have no idea. Very good Ikamushu trader. And you have the cloud out here, and you're like, dude, it only takes cells. I got you. The cloud is out here somewhere in some offset universe of 54 moving average into the future. Actually trades it actually trades backwards, so there's signals coming out of the rear end of this thing, like back in here. So it's like this. Right, see what I'm saying? It's like this. Yeah. It's backwards. It's ass backwards trading. That's hindsight trading is what you're doing here, shit. No, I am saying that most of this is going to be noise from here for the rest of the year, probably, or the next month. So after the elections, I think it'll heat up. Now it could go either way. It could keep tanking. It wouldn't matter to me. I can see every 3 days there's an amazing trade in here, just from a capture, fake breakouts. So I would trade against the breakout here if I was just a guy that was trying to make 80 pips. But if I'm trying to make 500 pips, I'm going to trade the breakout. So it breaks out of a 100 pip range. Let's get on the train, even at the bad prices, right? The argument for turtle trading is that it's going to go that way. You're going to be able to do that trade. So these markets have just so many opportunities on this daily chart, but you're not going to trade it like unless you're looking for these giant targets. The chances of making this much money, oh boy. So I say we're going to come down. I'm going to buy it down there as it tanks. Just tank it a little bit down there. We'll be fine with that. Comes down here. Buy, and then mega buy down here. But that's unlikely tonight. There's only one day left. Tomorrow's Friday. We could come down here a little bit and then pop up. That's my dream. I have a dream. One day, my breakout systems will work on the daily, and I will buy a desert island and chill on the desert island. Yes. I think that is the answer. The desert. So if you come into the, this is going to be the candlestick mode. Candlesticks are kind of hidden behind here. I put fat wicks on because I don't think MetaTrader's wicks are very big. Very ungirthy wicks. Very disturbing. So here's the candle view with the string of the narrative. There's noise, I'm sure, on the, this might be, the problem with these charts is that I think some of these are Sunday night, so there's like 6 trading days, so this is probably Sunday here. I'm sorry, this is, well, what am I saying? No, this is the daily, so this could be like, yeah, crush down. So this would be a step back and let the trade happen situation. You'd be looking at, so the contrarian is going to start buying here. Anything below, and the deeper it goes, the more you're going to buy. So you'd buy a ton here. Here, you really load the wagon here. And here you're just buying gobs, right? Because it's the deepest. And you kind of make back about 60 pips here or so. Fake breakout to the upside, trap traders. If you buy stop here, you're like, okay, we kind of got trapped there. Because you don't see this price until you crush into this. And here's the super deep low. So you really have to come in seriously large there. And now you're looking for a pullback to here. I am tonight. I put all my tickets in here. I'll put another rack in there. So I'm looking at this void to buy. Oh, I want to buy this void like crazy, but I don't know if I'll see that maybe next week. For right now. So the people that stepped in front that had the sell limits here. And bigger ones here, you took some heat there, but it paid off because if you saw the 1K there, a 2K here, and a 3K in this psycho vac that goes real back far, and it was also a bottom, become a top situation nearly, and that is just amazing. That's quite a move. This is like an obvious to me, very obvious place to put your tickets. You know, this is just stack them up here, and this is. Oh, I'd sell a lot up here, right? I'd sell on the way there. On the way to there, I'm not going to sell too much, like here, because this goes like if you ever take this out, Katie bar the door, right? It's going to be a head ripper. Your head's going to be ripped off, and what are you going to do then? Now look at you. I told you. I told you behave. Now look at you. We got the. I get the zoom out. Zoomity. Zoom out. Alright, so zooming out on this thing. Yeah, it looks like we're going up. But there'll be a kickback. Probably when Europe opens. So I'm not going to chase it. I'm looking for it to come into this pocket. Come back to this top. So all tops and all, you know, this is the top we just breaking through. And yes, it can just go, keep smashing. But if it goes into this territory, that's going to be a serious situation. So tomorrow you could just go ripping here. I would sell for just 20 pips coming back off of anything into that because I'd just rather trace it, chase it with buy limits at different paces. So when it smashes through here, I'm sure a lot of people made at least 20 to 40 pips here. There's a 20, 40 pip trade. Then doji out. Breakout traders, buy stop, sell stops. Only filled on the short side, but what do you do here? Buy stop, kind of trapped. I mean, sell stop, trapped there. But it all depends, right? If you're the buyer, you're the smart money, right? You just kept buying. Like the smart money is, I think, just having giant balls. You just buying into this plunge, going fuck off, fuck you, and all the way back, all the way back, and then it just can't even believe it, right? But picks off this shelf finally. And today was explosive. Here comes the jobs report. Wow, nobody was selling here. Go figure. So surely this is the dream scenario for the bulls is we come back to here, then we just go rip your face off. It's over. But the dream here was, we're going to hold this trend line. We just broke out. We're just going to keep going. It's a beautiful world. Can't you see the channel where you're retarded? No offense, but people are going to make this. I don't blame them. But this is pretty serious when you carve this area out and then we just crash through like it's just total destruction. Okay, so then we have this, we have that, and then this, we're looking for that. And that's the bull's dream. And then the bear's dream is that you're just trapped in this channel until your head explodes all the way down. Right. Can't you see the trend? What are you, retarded? Yes, I am. Thank you very much. No, thank you. No, you first. Oh, I insist. Don't mind if I do. Okay, so that's the zoom out view, and we'll mega zoom out. Your head will explode. Wow, that thing really is going to hell. What the hell happened here, son? Look at this major top bottom. Like, holy shit! Look at this insanityness, and then boomity boom. This is 100 pip window. Top become a bottom at 100 pips there. Man, that thing just took off like a freight train down to like the bottom of the planet there. Sure, if you went short here and you're still short, yes, you are a very rich person. I just don't have the patience to hold something for a year, but look at that thing just fall apart, man. She's coming back. She's coming back. Just dump more shell off. Don't mind a bit. So the big swing trader, this is not the, I'll go to the daily charts. I mean, I'll go to the weekly charts, and it's kind of insanity, right? And the weekly chart, so this ICT brags about the weekly chart. Well, there's a way to trade it, I think. It's going to be the same way I'm trading the daily chart here. You might have to pick a 200 pip window for your top become a bottom, but I think this is the way to go. You know, let's look at the weekly chart. Come on. Like, come on, man. Like, who's not going to say, come on, man, on this one? Look at that thing. Oh, my God. Let me delete the objects for a second. It's mind blowing. Look at this thing. So, but how do you, like, here's the other issue. Remember this move back here? Oh, God. Like, this is 20% of the time, 80%. I'm going to go 20%. And then just total reversal. I'm going to call this noise 80%, then 20 up. Here's your sideways. Then hard down. Seriously, I mean, of course, this is no easy rides on this one. Look at this insanity. So for the big picture, yeah, this would be all your noise. This is one giant move down, then noise. And here, I guess you could call pure noise on this whole region here. This is all now noisy. So it's kind of like just these two noise banks. You fall through the floor. This is the water table. Then more pressure. Then through the water table. Now it's buyer's delight. Anybody's buying down here. Giant balls buying down there. After this hard move down. So two giant hard moves down. This is pretty considerable. But this is a giant range. It's amazing. I mean, that's the weekly chart zoomed out. So fractally speaking, all these zooms in and zooms outs are just about where it's at. I wouldn't get any more complicated. I wouldn't put a moving average on here or a sign or anything. You don't really need it. This is the weekly chart. So weekly bias is kind of nonsense in a sense, I think, because if you look at it, if you think that the guys that bought into that 100 pip floor and they held it for this rip, then it goes sideways, then another rip down, very fast rip, now sideways in the weekly, and look at this thing, just wow. I'm going to say the end of the, so this is the big hard move down, then sideways. There's a perfect 20, 80. I say 20 here. And 20 coming back if you're going to kind of count the pips of it all. Now that breaks all the rules that you built upon. Well, this is, I'm looking for this noise. I'm looking for this perfect setup, confirmation. Some people waited for it to come back to retest this. Okay, I'll take this sell. It is going down. But you don't always get filled. If you take this sell, you're too cheap. You never get filled. This one, maybe you get overfilled. This one, not really. Kind of missed your entry, you know. Can't be that cheap. Got to take a little bit of a discount. Pay up a little bit. Now it looks like on the weekly that we were just going to go ripping back. Ripping back. We've got our floor. We're trying to engulf this now. So I would never look at a weekly bias. I look at the weekly structure and say, okay, man, who's buying this plunge to make how many pips in a week? So in 2 weeks, right? You spent a week under the floor and then a week smashing back into what was previous support. But now, how long do you think this is going to keep taking? That's the question. I don't think too much more. And even if it does, in the next 16 hours, I'll take the trade, whatever it is. Okay, so what else? Let's go to the Bitcoin chart here. So Bitcoins on the monthly is very interesting. Just insanely interesting. And this is your classic rare moment, I'd say, in Bitcoin. We got a top become a bottom of the fractals. We got the 80% roll. We're waiting for it. This is the 20% smash down. Another 20% beat down. Sorry, this one here. And then we're going to look at this whole nonsense range here. And we're under the floor. Very low volatility. You kind of need that low volatility before the explosion. Look at this thing doji out and then just go ripping. It's a monthly chart. Explosive moves trapped here. Look at the delta forming. A little smaller than that one, so even more compression. Now we just take out this high, blister through that. So yeah, if you're a buyer, there's kind of a leveling of the playing field. 20,000, just below 20,000. I think it's a value for people. They're going to hold on to their Bitcoins. They're going to buy more Bitcoins. Why not load up, right? Load up if you can. Get it while you can. Fear of missing out's a real thing for a real reason. So if you know how to trade your gut, that's what it's going to come down to. In other words, you're expecting to get scared and you're going to steer into the curve so you don't wipe out. You kind of have to roll with the punches there so you break your own fall kind of idea. But look at that Bitcoin. That is just amazing, astounding. And waiting for this trend line to break. Gotta wait for that guy to break. I would have get it before it breaks, actually. I don't like to wait. I like to start building a position. If it goes nowhere, I'm not surprised. But there's plenty of time to join the trade. Here's the big monthly oil chart that everybody's raving about. How amazing prices are. Here's this big triangle up here before the crush. We just start taking these stops out, right? Or people are selling that and just sheer down. Just too much congestion, too delta'd. Deltas upon deltas stacking up. Everybody's on this. They think it's going like this, maybe, or they think it's going down. So they're selling. There's a lot of action to the downside because people be selling into that. Then back up to the floor. Carve this out, and then wow, 019er, and then here's the big crush into that. It just comes unwrapped. Taking out this monster. Then back to the races. Now, people are saying, well, crude oil is going to go back up here and keep going. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be $150 a barrel. You got to be kidding, right? You're joking. Come on, dude, please. Step away from that vape pipe. So, if we go to the dailies, I'm sorry, the weeklies, it's like, wow, really? Look at this thing. So, this is the top. This is supposed to become a bottom. There's another kind of vacuum feeding area for that movement. All these, so this whole thing, sure, people are buying that and building that. Okay, it means crude's got to come to here and then do this and then leave the station somehow without going below here. Because then it would just be a bloodbath this is always going to be, like, this will be noising out for a while. What I can't understand is that at this point here, you're at 5.20 a gallon. Here, you're at like 4.50 a gallon. Okay, but yeah, that's quite a. I don't even. Or maybe this is 5.20 a gallon. I can't remember. It was such a momentary lapse of reason, and the rip back was so hard on that wick. It just was. It just put a bruise on it. It really bruised the market. We got dollar CAD is out of control. Big giant range though. Let's just face this range factor that this thing ranges more than anything in the planet. Big ranging mess here. And I would just put a buy stack in here. This is no brainer trade, I think. Just buy stack it here. Always a buy stack. Can't go wrong. That's the monthly chart though. So look at all this wonderful noise trading. This is the monthly chart. Just constant, brutal. Very few runaway moves. This is a big runaway move. Just a pounder. This is just quarter pounder. No cheese, please. Quarter pounder. And the NASDAQ. Wow. It looks just like Bitcoin. Back to this really amazing price. So that would be the abyss that everybody's think it's going to tank. I think they're kind of done with that. Here's your top, become a bottom. And this is the big issue, is this price. Then we got this, people are gobbling that up. The people that are buying heavily there are thinking, well, you know, the world's not come to an end yet, so let's break this trend line and let's just keep on keeping on. Don't forget we're in an uptrend, right? That's their dream. Gotta have a dream. What else? We got Bitcoin, we got gold. Now gold is getting its ass kicked. It's kind of in this doldrums of sideways action. We've had a giant sell-off there, and nice buy. Monthly chart, sure buy. Big buyer's delight there, 1660 is nice price. It's better than buying, of course, the guys that bought this plunge on this 1 month. This retag and then lunge. Amazing. But I think gold's doomed, to be honest with you. I think it's going to keep tanking into this void. It's going to become a big issue until you get to this top. This would be a great buy. About 1350, 1380. I'd buy that 1380. So I'm just not a gold guy. I don't get it. Don't you just want to buy a better, stove or toaster? Something you can use while you're still alive. Yeah, I don't know about the gold thing. It just doesn't seem like give a good feel to it. Here's the broad view. The right key there. So this is my stack of big picture monthlies. This is the big view. Every chart's a monthly chart, whether you like it or not. Alright, so this is hammered down. Bitcoin is hammered down to the bottom of the world. And oil's kind of taking a hit. Gold, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm seller on CAD and I'm a buyer on the euro. Definitely a big buyer here. I think that was the best buy so far. Was buying right in there. Selling above this, you're taking some heat. Buying below that, you're taking some punishment. I think these guys are going to run out of gas up in here. And all they got to do is somebody's going to have to break ground and put up a refinery, and then, or whatever, they're going to start drilling for stuff. It's going to collapse, crude will go below this. And I'll go down to like $63 a barrel or something, and people will just be driving like fucking mad, and they'll get in car crashes, and they'll fucking die, and they'll blame the oil market for it, and they'll sue the oil traders, and next thing you know, old Jed's not a millionaire no more. And there you go, you're fucked. You're fucked sideways to Tuesday, and Thursday down the middle. Anyways, that's my assessment of the markets to this point. My mind is blown by the kind of stuff going on out there. But yeah, it's certainly having an effect. It didn't seem when they said they're going to cut back on that oil, it didn't seem to really give them much of a boost now. Really, honestly, it doesn't seem like we're really. Looks like we're going to stall out here. I'm honestly looking for $72 a barrel, 75, and just tank all the way into Christmas. Get me to $58 a barrel on crude, and then euro goes up, dollar CAD goes down. Nasdaq's a great buy. Bitcoin, I bet Bitcoin and Nasdaq look the same to me. Kind of double bottomed out there. You know, this is the Nasdaq represents, I guess, the futuristic view, and so does Bitcoin. They're both technological things, right? That's the argument, is that they're both tech stocks. You know, Nasdaq, BitDeck, the BitDeck, and the Nasdaq. That's the way I see it. We just have to wait for the dust to settle for the breakout traders, and we're looking for a breakout. And the spike traders, we're looking to get nailed on our limits and get filled and swing trade it, contrarian trade it. So everybody's going to make money when the stars align. Very rarely is your algo going to fit your wallet as far as how many pips you can handle is smashing. But once you step back from it, I don't think it's very hard to imagine that you can put on some pretty serious trades with the stacking method that's going to put a little bit of a ramp so you can ramp into the trade without getting crushed. So it satisfies the psychological subconscious feeling of being left out or missing out, because you've got at least a 1K in there. So your first order got a 100 pip stop. Next ticket's got a 50 pip stop. You're risking $5, and you're going to figure, well, what are we going to do here? How many tickets are going to run? 15 tickets, 15 grand. Stops from 25 to 150. Put them in the right positions. Okay, you can take a lot of punishment on this stop, so you're going to let that one go. And news is coming out, so you're going to set these things wide and whatever have you, but it's just like a normal job. You got to put the tickets in, whether manually or automatically. But manually is the best, because manual, your brain's involved. And I think the robots are really up to identifying these structures. Really don't think they can do it, because they'll take instruction like a fucking idiot. Like your car thinks, it's doing something, and you tell them it's raining out, don't take your electric car out. I understand that's the problem with electric cars, that you're having a little issue getting wet. Since there's a sizzle and burst into flames. Ouch, chihuahua. I hate when that happens. Okay, so it is now at 10:10. And the video is coming to an end here. I'm going to go watch a movie. Yes, I'm just still addicted to YouTube. That's the problem, but I'm just watching more YouTube, and I'm just rotting my teeth out watching it. It's so ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it is now 10:05. Okay, So back to the movies.